Did you know that Kim Kardashian might be responsible for bringing back one of the most iconic snacks of our childhood? In 2018, her tweet about missing Dunkaroos reached millions, adding fuel to an already burning nostalgia fire that would eventually force General Mills's hand. We'll be revealing the complete timeline of Dunkaroos' fascinating journey throughout the decades, from its 1990 debut with Sydney the Kangaroo to its 2012 discontinuation, the underground Canadian smuggling rings that formed afterward, and how a Hollywood celebrity's social media influence potentially saved a beloved brand from extinction. This is the complete rise, fall, and rise again of Dunkaroos. Remember when opening your lunchbox was the highlight of your school day? In 1990, General Mills changed the snack game forever by introducing a simple yet revolutionary concept. Dunkaroos wasn't just another treat, it was an experience, a ritual, a tiny edible playground tucked between your sandwich and juice box. Our story begins during the golden age of 90s snacks, when companies battled for prime real estate in kids' lunchboxes. While we were busy trading pogs and arguing about whether Power Rangers or Ninja Turtles ruled supreme, a food revolution was happening right under our noses. Snack makers recognized that children craved interaction with their food. They wanted an experience beyond mere eating. Dunkaroos delivered precisely this interactive element. Other snacks had their gimmicks. Gushers offered that satisfying burst of flavor. Fruit roll-ups let you peel and shape. But Dunkaroos introduced the ritual of dunking. This transformed snack time into a participatory event where you controlled the frosting-to-cookie ratio with each carefully executed dip. The original Dunkaroo cookies featured 5 distinctive designs, including a circle with an uppercase D, footprints, their mascot in various poses, and even a hot air balloon. These weren't mere cookies. They were canvases for the accompanying chocolate or vanilla frosting. The concept was strategically engineered for the elementary school lunch scene, where showing off your dunking technique could earn serious playground cred. Building on this innovative spirit, General Mills created Sydney the Kangaroo, the charismatic mascot who brought personality to the package. Voiced by John Cameron Mitchell, who later created Hedwig and the Angry Inch, Sydney sported an adventure-ready hat, dapper vest, and tie, while speaking with an Australian accent that made kids feel they were embarking on an exotic journey with every bite. His energetic commercials became lunchroom sensations, making Dunkaroos feel like part of an exciting adventure, rather than just another snack. By 1993, while Beanie Babies invaded bedrooms and Jurassic Park dinosaurs roamed theaters, Dunkaroos expanded their flavor universe. The brand introduced 4 new frosting varieties: chocolate chip for the traditionalists, cinnamon for the bold, peanut butter for the protein-conscious, as if that mattered to us, and the legendary rainbow sprinkles. That vibrant, multicolored frosting with crunchy candy bits became the signature Dunkaroos experience, the version most fondly remembered today. The mid-90s culture shift toward extreme everything prompted General Mills to launch the Dunkaroos Kangaroo Kangahoo search in 1996. This nationwide contest produced Duncan, the Duncan Daredevil who replaced Sydney. Duncan represented everything 90s kids suddenly valued. He skateboarded, used words like radical unironically, and embodied the attitude that appealed to children who were outgrowing traditional mascots. This wasn't just a snack, it was a cultural phenomenon that created its own ritual. While adults saw simple cookies and frosting, children saw possibilities. Some strategically rationed frosting to ensure every cookie got its share. Others lived dangerously, using the first cookie to scoop massive amounts of frosting, accepting that later cookies might go bare. Creative types made sandwiches, using 2 cookies to create frosting-filled masterpieces. Dunkaroos didn't just feed us, they gave us agency, turning lunchtime from a mere meal into a creative event where we controlled at least one small aspect of our day. As those creative moments of lunchroom freedom were becoming part of our collective memory, a fundamental shift was happening in how America viewed children's snacks. The very features that made Dunkaroos magical to us, the sweet frosting, the interactive format, the lack of nutritional value, were quietly becoming its greatest liability in the new millennium. The early 2000s brought uncomfortable realizations about our beloved snacks. That little package of cookies and frosting we dunked with such glee packed 13 grams of sugar per serving, over half the American Heart Association's recommended daily limit for children. This revelation coincided with nutritionists and health advocates raising alarms about childhood obesity rates. The carefree 90s that celebrated neon-colored foods was giving way to something more sobering: nutritional accountability. Schools across America responded by implementing stricter guidelines that transformed what could appear in vending machines and lunchboxes. Educational institutions that had been Dunkaroos' prime marketplace became increasingly restrictive territory. Those colorful packages with their kangaroo mascot gradually disappeared, banished by wellness policies and concerned parents. General Mills recognized this changing landscape early. Marketing for Dunkaroos essentially stopped by 2004, a strategic retreat rather than a loud surrender. Instead of promoting sugary snacks to children as public opinion shifted, the company redirected resources toward building its healthier snacking portfolio, investing in brands like Nature Valley granola bars and Larabar, products that aligned with America's new wellness focus. The cultural shift was seismic. While we were busy downloading music on our iPods and adjusting to life in a post-9/11 world, low-carb diets exploded in popularity. Organic food moved from fringe to mainstream, and schools removed soda machines from their hallways. The snack landscape transformed while we weren't looking. I remember searching every convenience store in my neighborhood one summer, certain I was just looking in the wrong places, before finally asking a store clerk who confirmed what I couldn't accept. They weren't carrying Dunkaroos anymore. For a while, Dunkaroos survived with a much lower profile, sustained only by loyal fans who sought them out. But even nostalgia couldn't keep them on American shelves indefinitely. In May 2012, with almost no warning or explanation, Dunkaroos vanished from American stores entirely. No grand finale, no farewell tour, just a quiet disappearance that left fans confused when they suddenly couldn't find their favorite snack. For our generation, this silent departure felt personal. How could something so fundamental to our childhood simply disappear? Some fans didn't realize they were gone until they went looking, only to find empty shelf space where their favorite treat used to be. The timing was particularly cruel because it happened just as 90s nostalgia was emerging as a cultural force. Just as millennials were becoming adults and looking back fondly on the snacks of their youth, one of the most iconic treats vanished. We were ready to introduce a new generation to the joy of dunking cookies in frosting, only to find that the option was no longer available. The American Dunkaroos drought created something unprecedented in snack history: a company-sanctioned black market for its own discontinued product. When General Mills pulled Dunkaroos from U.S. shelves in 2012, they didn't anticipate the lengths to which devoted fans would go to satisfy their frosting-dipped cravings. While American cupboards sat empty, our neighbors to the north continued enjoying the beloved treat, creating a tantalizing situation that would eventually spawn one of the most unusual marketing campaigns in snack food history. After Dunkaroos vanished from American stores, word spread that the cookies remained available in Canada, igniting a modern-day cookie caper. The northern border transformed into a cookie frontier, with border towns becoming unlikely epicenters for what locals jokingly called cookie contraband. Americans would return from Canadian excursions with suitcases suspiciously heavier than when they departed. Their cargo not drugs or undeclared purchases, but packages of colorful cookie and frosting combinations. This cookie underground quickly evolved beyond individual border crossings. Online forums and social media groups dedicated to Dunkaroos trafficking flourished across the digital landscape. Americans living far from Canada coordinated with northern suppliers who shipped packages southward, often commanding premium prices that desperate nostalgics willingly paid. In an era when subscription boxes for everything from makeup to dog toys were gaining popularity, informal Dunkaroos delivery networks emerged, operating like specialized treasure hunters, connecting Americans with these elusive artifacts of childhood. By 2016, the underground Dunkaroos economy had grown so substantial that General Mills made a remarkable pivot. They embraced the unauthorized distribution through their Smuggleroos campaign. This brilliant marketing strategy, launched with a dedicated website that matched Canadians traveling to the United States with Americans craving their discontinued favorite snack. The Smuggleroos campaign transformed a potential liability into marketing treasure. The website functioned as a matchmaking service, connecting Canadian smugglers with American receivers. Canadians purchased Dunkaroos locally, then delivered them to American counterparts when traveling south. General Mills had effectively created a company-endorsed black market for their own product, an unprecedented move in consumer packaged goods history. Social media amplified both the campaign and Dunkaroos nostalgia, with millennials, now in their 20s and early 30s, flooding platforms with memories of lunchroom trades and perfect cookie-to-frosting ratio techniques. Even celebrities joined the chorus. In 2012, Tyler, the creator, tweeted, "Dunkaroos, I need to find these," capturing an entire generation's collective longing. The Smuggleroos operation brilliantly converted scarcity into cultural currency, maintaining brand relevance despite disappearing from official American distribution. It transformed what would typically be considered unauthorized distribution into a brand-building phenomenon, creating mystique around Dunkaroos. People weren't just seeking out a cookie and frosting combo. They were participating in a cultural reclamation project, recovering childhood memories through whatever means necessary. For those unable to secure authentic Canadian Dunkaroos, food bloggers created homemade approximations with Teddy Grahams and funfetti frosting, though devotees insisted these substitutes never captured the original's magic. The underground cookie economy operated until January 2018, when production ceased in Canada as well, seemingly ending the Dunkaroos saga. The Canadian shutdown effectively closed the cross-border trade that had sustained American fans for years. It represented a double disappointment for enthusiasts. Their childhood favorite had completely vanished, and the underground network that had kept their hopes alive suddenly lost its precious cargo. January 2018 marked what appeared to be the final nail in the Dunkaroos coffin. But sometimes, the internet has other plans. How did a single tweet from Kim Kardashian ignite a chain reaction that would fool millions, frustrate Chrissy Teigen, and eventually force one of America's largest food companies to reconsider a decision they thought was final? With both American and Canadian production lines now silent, Dunkaroos seemed destined to live on only in the collective memory of 90s kids. That is, until April 27, 2018, when Kim Kardashian West decided to share her snack cravings with her millions of followers. Obsessed with Dunkaroos, please come back. She tweeted 6 simple words that would accumulate nearly 50,000 likes and 8,000 retweets. For a product that had been commercially dead for months, this sudden spotlight from one of the world's most influential celebrities acted like a defibrillator shock to its frosting-covered heart. Celebrity nostalgia endorsements work like memory triggers. When someone with cultural influence mentions a forgotten product, millions suddenly remember they miss it too. The tweet created a tsunami of Dunkaroos conversations across social media. While the internet buzzed with renewed Dunkaroos fever, General Mills maintained a strategic silence, quietly observing as the nostalgia wildfire spread. This information vacuum created the perfect conditions for what happened next. In the summer of 2018, Twitter user @_Luke Kelly saw an opportunity in the midst of all this Dunkaroos desire. He crafted a tweet claiming that Betty Crocker, a General Mills brand, would resurrect Dunkaroos if his message reached 150,000 retweets. The internet, desperate for any hope of a revival, took the bait. The hoax spread rapidly, ultimately gathering an impressive 180,000 retweets. Even celebrities jumped on board, with Chrissy Teigen joining thousands in spreading what seemed like legitimate news. As excitement reached fever pitch and fans prepared to celebrate, General Mills finally broke their silence. Not with the announcement everyone wanted, but instead to confirm they had no plans to bring back Dunkaroos. The company's official statement was a crushing blow to fans who had genuinely believed the viral campaign was legitimate. The emotional whiplash from excitement to disappointment only intensified the cultural conversation around Dunkaroos. Ironically, the debunked hoax demonstrated just how passionately people still cared about this discontinued snack. Where General Mills saw a dormant product, Walmart recognized an opportunity. Later in 2018, they launched Dunkin' Crunch, their own take on the dunkable cookie and frosting concept. The knockoff quickly vanished from shelves, not from failure, but because demand overwhelmed supply. This brief market appearance only confirmed what the viral hoax had suggested. Consumers desperately wanted their dunking snacks back. Meanwhile, across the globe, Nestlé released their own version of Dunkaroos in Australia in December 2019, featuring a chocolate hazelnut-flavored frosting. For American fans, this was both tantalizing and torturous. Further proof that Dunkaroos could exist in the modern snack landscape, just out of reach. What most people didn't realize was that behind the scenes, General Mills had been watching these developments with intense interest. Brad Hiranaga, the company's chief brand officer for North America, would later reveal that they had been considering Dunkaroos' return for years. The viral hoax, the Kim Kardashian tweet, the successful Walmart knockoff, these were data points in a growing case for revival. The Dunkaroos phenomenon was becoming a textbook case of how nostalgia drives consumer demand in the digital age. For General Mills, the mounting evidence was becoming impossible to ignore. The question was no longer if they should bring back Dunkaroos, but when and how to maximize the years of pent-up demand their absence had created. The universe has a strange sense of timing. Just as General Mills prepared to unleash their sugary time machine back into the market, the entire world was about to hit pause. On February 3, 2020, the long-awaited announcement finally came. Dunkaroos were officially returning to American shelves that summer. The internet collectively lost its mind as millennials celebrated the revival of their lunchbox champion, starting with the crowd-pleasing vanilla cookies and rainbow sprinkle frosting combo. But nobody, not even the marketing masterminds at General Mills, could have predicted what happened next. Within weeks of the announcement, COVID-19 transformed from distant news story to global crisis. As lockdowns began and toilet paper disappeared from shelves, a legitimate question emerged. Would this nostalgic resurrection be postponed or canceled altogether? Surprisingly, General Mills didn't flinch. As the pandemic reshaped daily life in spring 2020, the company pushed forward with their relaunch plans. By May 2020, those distinctive teal packages began appearing on 7-Eleven shelves like colorful beacons of normalcy amid the chaos. The rollout continued through summer, expanding to Target, Walmart, and Kroger, despite the logistical nightmares plaguing the retail industry. The pandemic timing proved accidentally perfect. As we huddled in our homes, binging Tiger King and attempting sourdough starters, Dunkaroos offered something beyond mere snacking. They transported us back to simpler days of playground trades and cartoon afternoons, exactly the emotional comfort food a traumatized nation needed. The updated Dunkaroos balanced nostalgia with modern sensibilities. The packages increased to 1.5 ounces, up from the original 1 ounce, while reducing sugar content. This reformulation preserved the essential dunking experience while acknowledging the nutritional concerns that contributed to their original downfall. Remember those carefree lunchroom trades? They returned, but with a slightly healthier twist. By July 2020, several months into our new pandemic reality, General Mills capitalized on the overwhelming response with a limited edition merchandise line featuring t-shirts, fanny packs, and other 90s-inspired gear. Each order included a complimentary pack of Dunkaroos, transforming customers into walking advertisements while creating additional product scarcity. The revival soon evolved beyond simple reappearance. In November 2020, refrigerated Dunkaroos cookie dough hit grocery stores, letting fans recreate that after-school snack feeling with fresh-baked cookies. January 2021 brought Dunkaroos cereal, turning breakfast into a nostalgia trip. Even Yoplait joined the party with Dunkaroos-flavored Go-Gurt, delivering those familiar flavors in a tube format that would have blown our elementary school minds. The expansion continued throughout 2022 with limited-time flavors even 90s kids hadn't experienced before. An orange sherbet variant appeared alongside a chocolate-on-chocolate option featuring chocolate cookies with chocolate chip frosting. Each new product maintained the emotional connection to childhood while offering something fresh to discover. What makes this revival particularly fascinating is how it transformed a potential one-off nostalgia play into a sustainable brand strategy. Where other revived snacks often disappear after their initial buzz fades, Dunkaroos established themselves as a permanent fixture with room to grow and evolve. The pandemic didn't derail their comeback, it amplified it. According to Brad Hiranaga, General Mills' chief brand officer for North America, the timing played perfectly into consumer psychology. The decision to bring back Dunkaroos was influenced by the nostalgic demand from consumers, particularly during a time when many were seeking comfort in familiar products amid the pandemic. The Dunkaroos revival created a new playbook for discontinued product comebacks in the social media age. Rather than simply reappearing on shelves, Dunkaroos re-emerged as a comprehensive lifestyle brand with multiple products, limited editions, and constant innovation that kept consumers engaged well beyond the initial sugar rush of seeing them again. Dunkaroos represent more than a snack revival. They're a powerful case study in food nostalgia. Each bite doesn't just deliver sugar and frosting, it reconnects us with formative childhood memories, triggering an almost visceral emotional response. This revival succeeded precisely because General Mills responded to genuine consumer demand. From underground cookie smuggling to viral hashtag campaigns, our collective voice proved that fan movements matter in corporate boardrooms. When you dunk that vanilla cookie into colorful frosting, you're participating in our shared cultural identity. In uncertain times, these familiar comforts become especially meaningful. Now, if you enjoyed this video, then you better click on this next one here to continue the ride down memory lane of the OG snacks and much more.